Season 4 of Black Ops 6 just dropped, and a lot of the time your settings get reset. So today we're going to be going over all of the best settings so you have the best aim as well as the best movement so you can actually enjoy the game. Starting things off with the interface, a lot of people skip over this and I don't know why, because the color customization literally changes the entire game, making it so much easier to actually see the enemies. So you can actually go through and customize what color the enemies are and things like that. I kind of keep everything just default, but the human eye does pick up on like yellow and orange before other colors. I just feel like those ones do blend in with the background, and so that's why I just keep them on red. And then I basically just max out the saturation, go over to the color filter, do filter 2. Then you want to go down to the color filter target, do both on there, and then you want to basically max out both of those intensities. That's going to make it so everyone stands out so much more. For the gameplay HUD, we're going to be going over to the HUD bounds, and you basically want to make it as tight as possible. That's what she said. So then you don't have to really look at the mini map. Like, you don't have to turn your head. You can just use your eyes and just see it as you're playing. And then you want the mini map shape on square, mini map rotation on, radar off, compass type minimap, or you can have it on off. It doesn't really matter. Vehicle HUD, prompts, fade, in-game text, this stuff. Oh, you want the full name on here, because if they have the clan tag, it's going to make the name a little bit bigger. And so in a way, having the name tag does make you, having a clan tag makes you a little bit more visible to the enemies, but it doesn't matter too much. For the kill feed duration, so you can extend it. For me, I just like to keep it on default because you can really use this to get the pacing of the game. If you're on Warzone, it really doesn't matter, but on multiplayer, you can understand of when to push up, when not to push up. And so then if you mess with that, it's going to kind of mess with the pacing of the match. So I just recommend keeping it on default. Crosshair, you need to have this on static. It's going to make it so when you do want to hip fire or you're running around the map and you're having that centering, which basically leads to having perfect aim, you need to have static. It's a lot easier to do so. For the hit marker visuals on, same with the damage based hit markers on. Weapon information 100, yeah, just you guys can keep all of that stuff on default. And then you actually can make the minimap a little bit bigger if you go over to the multiplayer HUD presets, have it on standard, and then you go over to visuals, and then I like to scale it up to about 120. I do see some pro players have it at 150, but that's completely up to you. I like it at 120. I would definitely make it a little bit higher than 100. And then before we go over the main part of this video, make sure you go over down to the account and network, and you want to basically turn off the dismember and gore effects. See, a lot of my stuff got reset. This is going to make it so your game doesn't crash as much. It doesn't help completely, but it does help a little bit on there. Do you want everything in Call of Duty without having to play the game? Then you should check out my long-term sponsor, Guapsi. Guapsi is a team of real players that will load onto your account to legitimately grind anything that you wish. And this goes for all the recent Call of Duties and many other games. They will even get you iridescent so you can flex all the cool rewards. Seriously, there's no risk involved because they don't use an unlock tool. They legitimately play in your account. And I've been with them for a long time and haven't seen a single negative review. And so if you want to save your time and energy, check out guapsi.com. So I'm going to be going over the best PC and console settings, as well as focusing a lot of this on controller. So if you are here for keyboard or mouse, you could probably skip this part of the video, but I will be going over best graphics. So for the controller that I used, I showed you guys this a few times. This is going to be an Xbox Elite V2. I like it because I have the paddles on the back, and then I have a control freak up here, and this basically makes it so I don't have to move it as much to have precise aiming, and it's just a little bit easier to snap onto targets. And some pro players use it, some pro players don't use them, so it's not necessary, but I personally love it. I've been using the control freak since I was 13 years old, so I do highly recommend them just to try it out. Now for the button layout, if you don't have a fancy controller at all, you can literally go over here and then just do bumper, jumper, tactical, or you can play claw. Claw is when you have this finger up on the button, so then you can jump and drop shot while still being able to have that good aim. And I gotta clean a nail on me. Anyways, bumper, jumper, tactical. This one allows you just to hold the controller like normal, but still be able to do the advanced movement and not mess up your aim. So that's very important. For the stick layout, this is not important. Skip over that. For the sensitivities, if you're playing Warzone, you could literally go up to any sensitivity. You could do 1.8. Multiplayer, I would recommend sticking between 1.4 and 1.75 or 1.65. Majority of the pro players do play on 1.6, 1.65, or 1.55. And a few are on 1.42. I used to always play on 1.42, which you have to plug in a keyboard and mouse for it. You have insanely sticky aim. It is insane that you do not miss. It's just sometimes a little bit hard to use a submachine gun up close if your centering isn't the best, because you need to be able to it's a little bit harder to track basically. And then we're just gonna have all the simple preset stuff off, and then you can swap the bumpers with the triggers if you want. This is gonna make it so you're clicking a button rather than pulling a trigger, so it is a little bit easier to trigger finger. For me though, I have trigger lock, so I just hold down, and then it basically just you know, it registers like a button. For the controller vibration, have this off. Less things vibrating in your hand should lead to better, no, it will lead to better aim, and it's just a little weird at first. For the dead zone inputs, this is going to be very important. So there's actually still a bug in the game where it's going to reset all my values. Okay, so I pulled up my last video because the game is still glitched. So left stick min, if it does let you edit it, have that at a 1. It's going to make it so you don't like accidentally move forward too much. And then left stick max, you want this between like 45 and 75. It makes it so you can go from like 0 to 100% movement speed while only moving the controller stick, in this case 65% of the way. And just don't not go below like 45, because then you can't really make the fine movements. It feels a little bit weird. But the right stick min, I have mine at 5. My controller is like a lot, it's a way newer one, but I still have it at 5. I wouldn't really go lower than 3, because if you go lower than 3, you're gonna like overcompensate on recoil, and it actually is just a little bit too sensitive. Sometimes having a higher dead zone gives you more of a sticky aim, but then if it's too high, you're not going to be able to like track and be able to have that good reaction time. So I wouldn't really go past 5 or 8 if you have a really bad controller, but you should probably just get a new one at that point. Right stick max 99, left trigger and the right trigger, you want to keep those at 0. And so that's kind of like where you don't really need to swap the bumpers with the triggers, given you can still, you know, shoot the gun faster if you have it on the bumpers. Now for the aiming settings, we're going to be going over to the aiming advanced settings. We're going to go to the ADS sensitivity transition timing. I like to have mine on gradual. A lot of pro players have it on instant. You can go into a private match or go play plunder, which if you're a multiplayer Warzone, and just play against some like bots or some bad players, and you can kind of find the one that you're more consistent with. But a lot of these settings, like, people get it way too much in their head and they start switching everything. A lot of it is just game sense, and you can get really used to any settings, so it doesn't really matter too much just between those two. For the aim response curve type, this part does matter. You can have insanely sticky aim with the dynamic. It is a lot easier to hit a lot of your shots if you have it on dynamic. Then you want to have the aim response curve slope scale. The lower you bring this, it's gonna basically remove the aim assist off your gun, and so just keep it at like 1.0. The lowest I've seen any pro player go is about 0.92. Custom sensitivity per zoom, I have mine on off, but you know, some people like to make it so when you're using a scope you have a higher sensitivity, so then you can drag shot easier. And then with the regular guns and stuff, it just feels, you know, normal. Movement settings, we are going to be going, oh, actually I feel like over here there was something about the aiming advanced settings. So I guess the aiming settings are still like messed up. Like if I go to show more, it's going to reset everything. I thought they fixed it. I don't know what's happening. So anyways, I like to have mine at like 0.85, so like 85% of the 1.55 that we have, so it's just 85% slower. When I am ADS'd, I wouldn't go lower than like 0.80, but again, you can get really used to like anything, and that's when the aiming you know, sense for the gradual comes into play. It's going to gradually get down to 0.85 rather than instantly going down to 0.85. A lot of people though just keep that at 1.0 because they just want everything super consistent. Now for the movement settings, we are going to be going over here. We're going to be doing the tactical sprint assist. A lot of people in ranked play will actually have this just on, because if you're tac sprinting, you're gonna die if someone's not tac sprinting, because it's gonna take a lot longer for you to bring down your gun. It's just you will have to mash the left stick on your controller more often. I don't want to break my controller, so I don't mind having a little bit of a slower one and just having to be a little bit more wary of where I'm tactical sprinting. So I just keep this on the on, and a lot of players do like to have that on, but the better, like, you know, the pro players actually just prefer just to be on. Then you go over to the sprint assist sideways and sprint assist backwards. Make sure those are both on, and then I'll have the delay on 0. Mantle assist, you were gonna want to, so it's not letting me do show more again, but you want to have everything off. You don't want any help mantling. You want to be in full control of your game. Crouch assist, same thing off. Corner slice, personal preference, it doesn't give you any in-game advantage, and to me it actually hurts me, so I have it on off. Slide / dive behavior, make sure this is going to be on hybrid. I think you can actually, yeah, okay, I thought I could show, okay, so you can put this on off. The show more kind of bugged on some of them, but slide / dive, this is going to make it so you can dolphin dive and you can slide with having no delay. If you literally have it on tap to slide or tap to dive, you're going to have a delay because the game doesn't know if you're holding or if you're tapping. And so then if you put it on slide only or dive only, then there's no delay. But the hybrid, you have to do a combo of holding that left stick and sliding if you want to be able to dolphin dive. Just some people accidentally dolphin dive too often, so there is a lot of people that just like to have it on slide only. Automatic airborne mantle off, sprint restore, and slide maintain sprint, both of those on. Parachute automatic behavior off, mantle cancels reload off. Movement advanced settings, you're going to want to have the grounded mantle off. I don't know why they're resetting a lot of these things, bro. It pisses me off. And then single tap run is going to make it so you can tac sprint a lot more, you know, just a lot faster. This is actually banned in the Pro League. I think they have it on double tap just because the single tap run is a little bit too overpowered. The plunging underwater trigger, sprinting door bash on. We're going to have the vehicle advanced settings. Doesn't matter. Combat now for the ADS side behavior. Hold weapon mount activation, ADS plus melee. Guys can copy all this. Make sure you prioritize the Diddy on the map. Armor plate behavior, apply all at once. Hold, press, combat, advanced settings. This stuff doesn't matter too much until we get down to prioritize, interact. Instead of reloading your gun in the heat of war, you can just basically hit the reload button once, like tap it, and then you're going to be able to pick up a gun, and then you can hope that there's ammo in there and you can win the gunfight. And so a lot of time I'll like get a kill on the enemy, and then like as their gun is falling from the air, I will pick up their gun and go into another gunfight, and it looks really cool, and it actually helps you out a lot. And if you're playing Warzone, it makes it so you can loot faster. So prioritize interacts definitely the move, but prioritize reload also works pretty well if you want to do so. Just make sure you do one of those two. Sprint cancels reload off. Akimbo behavior independent. Also, if you're not used to this, it's gonna piss you off, but it's super good once you're used to it. Depleted ammo weapon switch on, and ADS6 swap doesn't matter. Add the overlay settings, I just keep all of this off and I reset that again. Directional buttons on there. Now I'm getting congestion. Now we have the graphic settings, which if you're on console, some of this won't apply to you, but some things will. So just stay with me. I'll go through pretty fast. Full screen exclusive is going to be the best one, but since I'm streaming, need to use other monitors and things like that, I have it on full screen borderless. We're gonna have all 40. I got a 40 windy in here, and then we're gonna have NVIDIA reflex low latency on. My game would actually crash if I have it on boost. And so usually I would have it on there, but it was just crashing a bunch. So yeah, I'm not doing that. And I have a 4090, so I don't really understand. But off, reduce menu resolution, optimal. That's actually reduces your packet loss. Supposedly, it could just be a rumor or something, but it seemed to help out my game. And then yeah, copy all these things. Now for the quality, this is more so if you're on console, it's gonna help you out. Render resolution 100. Oh yeah, fidelity right here. So you're gonna want to do I don't want to reset my stuff. Why do you make me reset? It's gonna be default on 100, which is what most people like. I would just keep it at 100 fidelity mix so you can see everything. Some people watching this video are gonna have it on DLSS, but there's a reason why every single pro player plays on fidelity. And then dynamic resolution off, 100 for the render resolution. Variable rate shading, you actually want this on off. It makes it so your game just runs better. VRAM skill target, I have it at 90, but if you use a lot of other applications on the PC, you might want to have it on like 80. And then we're going to be going over to the texture resolution. I'm streaming, so I want my game to look good, and I already get 300 frames, so I'm going to have mine on high. But if I'm not streaming, I just want to do the best of the best, I'm going to have it on low. Very low makes everything kind of look like Roblox, so I think low is like the lowest you should go. For the texture filter anextrophic, low. Depth of field off. Detail quality low. Particle resolution very low. Bullet impacts, you get more FPS with it off, but I like to see the recoil patterns when I'm testing things for videos. Persistent effects off. Shader quality low. On-demand texture streaming optimized. And then if your game, also if you're getting packet burst, do minimal on here. Some things are really specific on this stuff. It's just like this game is not optimized the best, and so certain things work better for other people, and you know, vice versa. So local texture streaming quality low. Shadow quality very low. Screen space shadows, you get more FPS with it off, but your guns are going to look better if you have it on high, so I like to make my camos look good. Same reasons for the screen space reflection. Occlusion and screen space lighting off. Static reflection quality low. Tessellation off. Volumetric quality, if you ever want the game to look crazy, put it on high, and you're gonna see sun in places you've never had sun. It's kind of weird, but I don't like it. It's distracting. Deferred physics quality off. Weather grid volumes off. Weather quality off. And then we're going to be going over to the view, field of view. If you're playing Warzone, you could do like 115 to 120 because the map is so big, it's actually going to help you. But on multiplayer, you don't really need that high of a field of view because the maps are smaller, and the higher the FOV, the smaller the targets are going to be. So you definitely want to make it so everything is a lot just a little bit bigger, so then it's easier to see the enemy and you're going to be more consistent. And I think the highest any pro player increases this on multiplayer is like 105, and a lot of like the pro players, I even have it on 97, 98. So don't go lower than like 95, but don't go higher than 105. For the ADS field of view, affected weapon field of view default. Third person view 90. Vehicle field of view default. For the world, motion blur off. Same with the weapon. And then we're going to be going all the way over here. Inverted flashbang, you can have that on if you want your screen to go black, but I always think my monitor turns off, so I keep it on the white. And then so that's, oh, so you have the benchmark. I think, oh, we have the audio settings. Super important again. Wow. Okay, so we're going to be going, I just have this at one, I can't edit it. I have all the music and everything off. I just have like effects on max, and the in-game operators a little bit higher than usual. Sometimes they say good things, unless you're using like Seth Rogen. He's just yapping his ass off, or the Dr. something. I mean, the guy from Ninja Turtles. He just says some random one-liners all the time, and I just want to shut up. Okay, enhanced headphone mode. We have this on. If you do purchase it, it's going to be easier to hear the enemies. Although I don't recommend giving money to the company, but if you want to do the best, what you kind of have to do, the personalized thing doesn't really help at all. Enhanced headphone mode configuration. We're going to be going over, we're going to go down to the audio mix, Treyarch mix, or the sucker punch. I'm going to do sucker punch. It was on there before I got reset. And then we're going to have off, off, off. And then configure frequency intensity. This is, I cannot show you as well. Oh, okay. Yeah, I just got to click on it. Oh, they actually reset my stuff on here too. That's nice. For the first two, have it on 50. Next up, it's going to be 10, 5, -5, -5, -5, -5. This is going to give you the loudest footsteps possible, and it does really help, but that's more so if you have a headset. I have the Kiwi or Orchestra lights, and it's the same thing as a headset. It just makes it so I can, you know, I don't get crazy like head. And so if you don't notice the difference, don't really mess with it. Just keep it on 0 and you should be fine. It's just that does actually help a lot of people if you do have a gaming headset. Reduce tinnitus sound off, hip marker preset default, voice chat, make sure you're the loudest one in the lobby. And don't be soft. Make sure your voice chat's on with the proximity chat and the body shield chat. If you're getting, you know, it from behind you, you got to listen to it. That's your fault. Microphone level. Oh, sorry. You want to have this at 100. Voice chat volume, you can edit that to anything. Sorry if I'm tweaking a little bit in the video, but things are getting reset. Test microphone off. Microphone mode, we're going to have this on. Yeah, anything. That is definitely going to wrap up the entire part of this video. And I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. And I hope you guys do enjoy the update. Doses.